Hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining today in panel discussion on women forging new career paths in tech industries through Cloud Seeders. My name is Ankita Kapil and I'm the Senior Program Manager for AWS Solutions Architecture team in ASEAN. In my previous role, I was heading the support business for advanced applications for a multinational company. In all the roles that I have played so far, I've been a passionate advocate of women in tech, in both tech and non-tech industries. Within the year that I have spent in AWS, I've had the fortune of working very closely with leaders from both the sectors in order to create a collective future with diverse minds on the driving seats. Today's panel discussion involves two such leaders who have exemplified women in tech. Thank you very much for joining me today, team.
Thank you for having us, Ankita.
Thank you, Ankita. Great to be here.
I'm really excited about the discussion today because I think it's very important for us to realize the importance of having women in tech industries. You'll be surprised to know, according to Rackspace, lack of cloud talent and slow innovation can cost as much as $258 million yearly in lost revenues. With the skill gaps in gender, this gap is going to continue to increase. I completely understand that women have it a little bit harder to take the initial steps when they are trying to go for a career change. And these are the topics that we want to dive a little bit deeper into. However, before we do that, I think it's very important for us to listen from our panelists what they have been doing so far in order to help build this community for us all. Let me begin with you, Ivy. We would love to hear from you how you have come about in creating Cloud Seeders and what is the purpose of this community for the women in ASEAN.
Of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Ivy Yang. I'm the founder of Cloud Seeders. I also work for AWS Professional Services team as the head of security for the ASEAN function. 2 years ago, my husband and I moved from Australia to Singapore with our newborn baby. As the family is adapting to the new life here, I also get to learn about the responsibilities and the challenges of being a working mother. I was yearning for a community that gets me, provides me with the right support for my learning and growth, but I couldn't find one. I cannot imagine this need is unique. So 3 months after landing in Singapore, I created Cloud Seeders with a goal to enable more women to learn about cloud technology and digital innovation using a gender-sensitive approach. Because we want to help more women to transition to and be elevated into leadership roles in tech. I remember we had 50 women attending our launch on the 1st of August 2019. Madhavi was one of them. To this day, I still remember the sparkle in her eyes when she asked if there is any DevOps workshop planned. Of course we did. As of today, we have almost 450 women in our community, representing 10 countries across Asia, America, and Europe. I'm so excited about the growth that we had, and I'm even more excited about what more there we can do.
With 450 members already in Cloud Seeders, I think Cloud Seeders is going very strong, Ivy. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Before I introduce our next panelist, I want to inform all of you that Madhavi, who is our second panelist, has undergone a sabbatical of 15 plus years before coming back to Workstream. Madhavi, we would love to hear from you how those return has been for you, especially into a completely new and evolved technological world. I think the entire audience is going to be very inspired hearing about how you have braved and successfully so the journey of coming back.
Thank you, Ankita, for that generous introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Madhavi. I'm the first member of the Cloud Seeders. True story, I was there at the event 24 hours early, and I went back for the launch the next day. In my past life, I was into release and configuration management. After a couple of sessions at Cloud Seeders, Ivy connected with me, and I steadily grew into the role of curriculum designer at Cloud Seeders. Currently, I work as a cloud system administrator at Unique Gift, a voucher-based company. We moved to Singapore almost 6 years back, and 3 years before I came across this event attracting women back to workforce after a break especially. I was all ears after that, and the world of meetups and conferences opened up where I would go and learn. Most often I found that the women participation in these events was very less and the topics were not beginner friendly. At Cloud Seeders it was different. Every session has its own niche, and the technical resources that were delivered, it was not just demos or somebody giving a talk. It is where we actually do hands-on workshops. I remember doing a business proposition workshop, adding value to the cloud. It's just not technical. We go through a well-rounded curriculum for it. And here is where I found my tribe and purpose. Thank you, Ivy, for connecting with me.
You're most welcome.
This is really nice to hear, especially because in today's world, it's very easy for us to feel isolated and then be able to connect in a community of like-minded people. That to women is very rare, and I'm really happy to hear that Cloud Seeders is doing just that. I want to start by asking you, Ivy, do you really think that tech industry is still appealing to women?
I don't think so, at least not enough. You look at the data, 32% of the workforce in the technology sector across ASEAN are women, and the ratio is low. It's lower than what we can do. Something probably not everybody knows is that it wasn't always the case. There is a secret history of women in coding. About 200 years ago, the first person to be now we would call a coder was actually a woman, Lady Ada Lovelace, a mathematician in England. Around the early 1900s, computer, such a word, was originally used to describe a group of women who were doing mathematical computation of data relating to space in universities. Fast forward to 1940s, the first digital computer in the US was actually operated by an all-women team. Coming to the creator of the compiler for a programming language was also a woman, the famous Grace Hopper. All the way leading to the 1970s, as more companies are using software to process data and payroll, women were actually the preferred programmers. When companies were just looking for candidates who were good at math, detail-oriented, and logical. At that time, men were mainly focusing on hardware. So this debunks the misperception that women don't have the right brain for technical jobs.
That is so true and so interesting, Ivy. Actually, now that we understand the juxtaposition of past and present, how is Cloud Seeders driving the change?
Certainly the change in perception and reality requires the entire ecosystem to work together. Companies, governments, educational institutions, and communities like us to provide the right support to women along their journey from graduation to later stages. At Cloud Seeders, we specifically focus on understanding deeply about women's needs in order to inspire their interest for career in tech. Studies show that people make academic and professional choices based on how they believe they can perform well and the positive outcomes they can produce for themselves and the people around them. Studies also show women specifically likely to choose a career where they can help others and fulfill a purpose. That's how I found my entry point. At Cloud Seeders, we connect career in tech with the positive social impact. In every single event and online content we create at Cloud Seeders, we use examples to help women to better understand working in tech can open up possibilities for them to create a better future for themselves and the people that they care about. For example, being a cloud security specialist can help hospitals to protect their patient privacy, can ensure the devices are working properly during surgeries. Another example is a product manager for a digital bank can help improve financial inclusion, bring people from especially those underserved population into the digital economy, lifting their life quality. More recent examples that we used is that cloud computing has accelerated the development of a vaccine for COVID-19 and even enabled NASA's recent mission to Mars. This is how Cloud Seeders has gained attraction with the women, and more of them signed up for the learning programs that we provide, which is free of charge.
That is incredible. And I think our audience should definitely look into how they can be part of a change and create an impact, especially women in the tech industries, in order to then go and help the community surrounded by themselves. And it could be in any sector, as you rightly said, Ivy. It doesn't have to be in cloud computing itself. The industries, the opportunities are so wide open. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to move on to you, Madhavi. I think it's important to understand what is your take on disparity of women in tech and how you are experiencing Cloud Seeders is making a change in that regard.
I completely agree with Ivy. Being purposeful drives us, and especially at Cloud Seeders. Right? Once the members join us, we take them on a structured learning path where we work backwards, keeping what's the most wanted outcome in mind. And the content is built for an entire year. We deliver the curriculum through online workshops monthly, and we ensure that the outcome, the end goal, is where it is completely presented in a beginner-friendly manner. If we think of preparing the curriculum like baking a pie, every year we make different pies, like serverless was the technical theme of last year, and this year it is data analytics. And for each year, we train the sessions help the member kind of bring all their different skills that they learn, acquire over each month. And they build innovative technical ideas and solutions, like for a hackathon or their own project. One of our members actually built a chatbot for her friend's business. So that's how we, keeping in mind what the end goal is, we work backwards and deliver the content.
That is really nice to hear. Actually, to our audience, I think it's very important for them to know that it's not just a learning platform, but it's actually a platform that helps you take your learning to the next level, be hands-on, and create things that you can actually develop further and then maybe grow into a business if that's what you would like. However, the opportunities and the possibilities are just immense. This is amazing. However, diving a little bit deeper, at least in this year, what I have noticed is COVID-19 has disproportionately affected women in tech industries, and that too negatively. So what is Cloud Seeders doing in this regard, especially to you, Madhavi, in helping women charter this COVID-19 time, especially when they're looking for a career change?
Yes, very true, Ankita. There is no other time like pandemic. We all have seen the challenges that have been thrown at us. And coming to the job scene, right? I see that a lot of companies support women returnship programs. Like working from home has become the norm. So I do not agree that these have to be to a particular region. They can go global now that remote working is the scene, right? And we can take the borderless to a new level where we are encouraging sharing material for these returnship or internship programs that are there. Why not share it with women across all over the world? It surely benefits them.
That is really good to know. What is your take on this, Ivy?
Regarding the impacts from COVID, I think first of all, we have to face it that more women lost their jobs because of the crisis. I think one of the key reasons is that women are typically working in the sector and the type of jobs that heavily rely on in-person interactions. But at the same time, such a crisis also accelerated digital innovation, digital transformation, and increased the need for talents focusing on technical and digital skills across industries and sectors. Such new opportunities are being presented to women. There's no better time than this for women to start considering other options, especially options in tech. We recognize that stepping into something new can be really intimidating. Perhaps something additional, like encouragement that Cloud Seeders can provide, is a sense of safety. We create a very safe and fun community environment for women to embark this journey with more confidence. We are a platform where our members can just take the stage, share their learnings. At the same time, you don't have to be a professional to do that. You don't have to be a pro. The audience gets to see they are not alone in figuring out the basics, working out the solutions. That's very encouraging. Like last year, we had a DevOps days for beginners. Such a full-day event was actually one of the best memories for us all in the days of the lockdown. We, instead of inviting external instructors, we had our own members delivered all of the technical sessions. Those topics include configuration management, infrastructure as a code, Docker container, and the orchestration tools. We also discussed about how these different technologies fit in together in the context of organizations' digital transformation and the people and the cultural change. The day was full of very fun hands-on practices, free of jargon, very, very relatable stories are being shared as well. Another thing we found very important for women during the pandemic is actually don't forget to have fun while you're learning. As a group, we did things, for example, virtual happy hours. We also participated in study groups to get cloud certified. Also, IAM remarkable workshops to learn about how to advocate for yourself. All of those are just examples of the fun ideas that helped us to sail through the difficult moments during the pandemic.
That is incredible. However, I'm not going to let you go so easy. One of the things that I found extremely encouraging was the speed dating part of it. I think our audience is going to love to know about this new spin on speed dating through Cloud Seeders. So, Ivy, would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. Speed dating is actually an event we run called the Cloud Chat Room. It's focusing on career coaching for women. But if I take a step back, it's really coming from the sense that when people are going through mid-career changes, they're not sure about where to start, what's right for them, whether tech career is totally suitable for them at all. That's when they need resources and advice to make that determination. What we provide here is actually a role-based career development support and advice enabled by such a coaching events. We had, in single event, 7 mentors being invited to the event, and all the members had really, really great access to high-quality coaching, covering topics, for example, promotion, career transition, skill development, also specialist topics, including data analytics, engineering, cloud economics, and even entrepreneurship. It's very rare to actually have such a nice combination of different topics in one setting. So it's a great return in investment from our members' perspective, given the 3 hours they spent with us. Another thing we also found very important for encouraging women to make a mid-career transition is about the specific understanding of the core skill set required for roles in tech. For example, transitioning from a role in accounting and finance into cybersecurity can seem to be so impossible for some people. But if you look deeply into the core skills required in each domain, there are many things are very, very much the same. For example, the ability to perform root cause analysis in order to get to the bottom of a problem. Another good example is protecting organizations from bad actors, managing risks using data. So that sort of understanding helpful for members and our women members in order to make the transition. I've done that myself. And I also know that the VP of Security Engineering in MasterCard has done it too.
I agree. And I think it's important at this time for me to highlight that Ivy is one of those inspirations who have moved from accounting to cloud security. So the idea is that if she could make a transition, that too from one drastic different industry to another, I think the opportunity is open for everybody, all the women out there. Madhvi, coming back to you, what would be your recommendations for women who are going through a mid-career level changes or are just trying to see if tech career is the next adventure they want to embark into? What would you suggest to them?
I think to what Ivy added, right? Upskilling is one part to what we learn, but what you get out of Cloud Seeders is how to navigate to the role that you want, or how to navigate the break that I had, right? Now, the public speaking, the mentoring sessions were of great importance in molding me to, navigate the break and to where I am today. It's very essential not to forget to have fun. I Am Remarkable session was one of my favorite, and of course, Virtual Happy Hour for its own name. In fact, my husband copied this idea to his team, where he took I Am Remarkable and Virtual Happy Hour for his team, where he spent time with the team to get to know and encourage them, especially during the circuit breaker time. It was very difficult for all of us.
That is really nice to hear. I know that we are getting close to the time, but then I don't want to let you guys go before getting from you at least top 3 call to actions that you would recommend to our audiences today. So Madhvi, let me begin by asking you this. What would be your top 3 call to actions for the women out there who are still thinking about whether this is the right move for them or not?
Ankita, that's a very nice question. The top 3 would be, the first one would be this, right? Now, if we see on LinkedIn today, all the trending job descriptions have something like, rock stars or alphas. Studies suggest that these are attracting only one particular gender, right? Now, it makes more sense. We're losing out on the bigger qualified pool, right? It makes more sense to make it gender neutral, where I understand the job descriptions are sincere attempt to find the right candidate. If they go non-gender bias, then they attract bigger qualified pool. The second thing is the internships, right? It's time that we look beyond fresh graduates for internships. There are many of us who are looking at mid-career changes or returnship professionals who can be an intern. Internship is something where if you have the right attitude, willing to learn, and basic domain skills, we should be able to go ahead with that. And the returnship programs, right? It need not be local anymore. They can be global. I know one such program like Outreachy, where it has no borders, and they encourage women across all over the world to participate. So these are my top 3.
That is amazing. For the audiences, I think not just the women, but the companies and the hiring departments, I think it should be a great anecdotal feedback for them. Look for internship programs beyond universities. Look at job descriptions and see how you can make this gender neutral. Those are the top 2 things that would certainly help in this regard. Ivy, what would be your call to actions, not just to women, but maybe companies, tech and non-tech, as well as hiring departments? What would you suggest to them for them to open their doors and mind, so to speak, for women to enter into tech career?
Yeah, of course. Adding on to what Madhavi suggested to companies, my message to all the companies in ASEAN is this. If you are serious about bridging the gender gap and creating a diverse digital workforce, partner with the cloud leaders to discover and enable more women candidates fulfilling your new roles. Connect us with the leaders and the experts in your organizations who are willing to teach and coach. Organize hackathons and the boot camps with us so our community can showcase our skills and build innovative solutions that solve your customer problems. I also have messages to all the women out there, which is this: if you are really looking for change, but not sure about if the tech career is right for you or don't know where to get started, look here, Cloud Seeders. Join us on our website, cloudseeders.org. Join this group of driven, smart, and curious women from different industries. We're on this journey together, and we're going to reinvent and create a better future for ourselves and our daughters and sons. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not going to be an easy journey, but I promise you, it's going to be an extremely fun and rewarding one.
Thank you for sharing that, Ivy. For all the audiences out there, I can vouch for it personally, having joined Cloud Seeders last year, that it is one of the most customer-centric and women-centric cloud community, wherein the entire focus is put on each and every participant and member of the community. So definitely it is highly recommended for you guys to check out the Cloud Seeders website and see whether this works for you. Before we end today, ladies, any parting thoughts? Madhavi?
Yes, conscious or unconscious bias should not stop us. We are this community that is thriving with this unshakable optimism. We want you to join and continue building with us. Come join us at Cloud Seeders.
That is great. Conscious and unconscious bias. Just don't let it stop you. Coming to you, Ivy. What are your parting thoughts for the audience today?
Enough being said. Just join us.
Lovely. So there we are. We're going to be providing all the material and resources to all of you at the end of the session. So do look out for that material with this recording. At the same time, we would absolutely love to hear your feedback. So do spend another 2 to 3 minutes with us by completing a short survey that you're going to receive after this recording. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I had a great time together with all of you out there and with you too in talking about women charting new career paths. Thank you again.
Thank you.